Coming up next on MASL Primetime, St. Louis and Milwaukee go toe-to-toe in what just might be the game of the year in the MASL. Could the ambush take down the reigning champs? We take a closer look at the Gateway City in this week's Team Spotlight as St. Louis is coming on strong after a slow start. And the legend Keith Tozer joins us. He's the all-time winningest coach in North American indoor soccer history, so when Keith talks, you listen. It's all coming up next. This is MASL Primetime. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Alex Baschuvahnskee. You know, there aren't many certainties in life, but there is one thing you can bank on. Look at the Eastern Conference, and you're sure to see the Milwaukee Wave at or near the top of the standings. Now, year in, year out, the Wave are challenging for the title, and of course, they are the reigning MASL champions. The problem is, when you're number one, everyone is gunning for you. Now, the Wave had successfully weathered that storm, however, with just a single loss on its record heading into Week 8. And they were trying to keep the ball rolling against St. Louis on Sunday. Highlights in this segment are brought to you by Mitre Soccer. Mitre is the official soccer ball of the MASL. This might just go down as the game of the year in the MASL. St. Louis and Milwaukee. It was insane. The ambush get off to a great start. JT Thomas to Dudico Carvalho, 1-0. 3 minutes later, it's Thomas turning and burning it past Rafa Diaz. There was no scoring, actually, until the third quarter after that. Own goal by Milwaukee right there. Ouch. Thomas getting credit for that one. And then leading 3-1, Carvalho picks up his second of the day. 4-1 ambush. And they weren't done. Mario Marcos streaking down the pitch, hammers one over the shoulder of Diaz. St. Louis up 6-1 on the defending champions. What was going on? But the Wave woke up. Luan Oliveira, a howler from distance. That makes it 6-2. Now, Milwaukee had already been playing with 6 attackers out, and they kept it up. It was working. Ian Bennett, 5-hole on Nascimento to cut their deficit to 3. Coach Oliveira talks to his team and says, we're sticking with 6 attackers, boys. Milwaukee showing the heart of a champion. They just never give up. Oliveira pulls them to within a single goal. Finally, Alex Bradley completes the comeback. There was less than 3 minutes left on the clock, and then
now Isak running onto it. Isak's 2-on-2 with Wiedebach. Isak coming in. Wiedebach! Wave has come all the way back to take the lead at 7-6.
Unreal, but hold on. Tony Walls wasn't finished yet for St. Lou. He's been their main man all year. 20 seconds left. He ties it up. So this one was headed to overtime where the ambush quickly take the restart kick, surprising Milwaukee. Philippe Silva playing the hero for St. Louis. What a massive win for the visitors, by far their biggest of the season. Luan Oliveira was disappointed by the loss, obviously, but still kept a positive outlook when interviewed afterwards.
We took a while to get going, and I mean, we fought it to the end, and it's just silly mistakes that we can correct during the week, but learn from the mistakes, take whatever was good, and then move on, because you know, there's only 8 games, we played 7, so we got a long way to go, and we're in a good spot, so just got to keep working.
Okay, Utica City hosting the Harrisburg Heat for a while. It looked like the Blues were going to run away with this one. Bo Yellowvac takes the return feed from Nate Bordeaux. That is your opener. They would lead 2-0 after 15 minutes. First minute of the second quarter, Liam Callahan rips it home. But Harrisburg would storm back. J.J. Gibson, beautiful here. Roof Daddy, what a beauty. Second half now, tied 3-3 at this point. Nelson Santana pokes it past Andrew Coughlin to give his squad the lead. They would actually go up 5-3, but Christian Segura draws the Blues to within a single goal right there. Fourth quarter was all Utica. Jake Schindler with the sweet move, and then the finish. And they were even Steven. Finally, it's Nate Bordeaux with his second tally of the season, and that proves to be the game winner as Utica gets pushed to the limit by Harrisburg, but come away with a 7-5 victory at home.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, we made it a little interesting, and we didn't want it to get to that point. But the fact that we could get, I think, 5 goals in a row scored against us and still come back and win, with a lot of guys going down and injured, shows a lot about this team.
Okay, a quick look at the MASL points leaders through 8 weeks of play, and leading the way now, Brian Aguilar of Monterey, followed by Enrique Cañez. Leo Gibson tied with Nick Pereira, Ricardo Carvalho, and Frank Taiyu of the Ontario Fury. Hey, welcome back to MASL Primetime. The St. Louis Ambush pulled off what might just be the biggest shocker so far this season when they dropped the Milwaukee Wave on the road, no less, last Sunday. Now, was it unexpected? Yeah. St. Louis had won just 3 contests prior and were facing the reigning MASL champions, but the Ambush feel they're just getting going after a slow start to the season and are convinced they're destined for bigger things. We take a look at St. Louis now in this week's MASL Team Spotlight.
Here to take the corner with St. Louis, Duduga, JT, and Dos Santos. Touched over to JT, the shot, he scores! The Englishman, JT Thomas, wins it in overtime!
It took until week 4, but St. Louis finally nabbed its first win of the campaign on that JT Thomas strike. Making it extra sweet was that it was against arch rival Kansas City. But the Ambush unquestionably got off to a slow start this season. Heading into week 8, they'd won just 3 of 8 contests. But then they hit Milwaukee.
Gonna get a foul on Huffman. Oh, quick restart, shot and a goal. That is a game winner for the Ambush. They won it 8-7.
A win over the defending MASL champions was just what the doctor ordered, and has the Ambush feeling confident going forward.
It was great. It was great. Play against Milwaukee Wave. Always is a hard game, a tough game, and against the championship. And like the game was winning, was losing, and overtime. That's a great win.
St. Louis showed its moxie and what it's capable of when they've got their big guns firing. Tony Walls has been their go-to guy all season long. The forward leads the team in scoring and was named MASL Player of the Week for week number 6. Dudica Carvalho and JT Thomas aren't far behind Walls in terms of production, and keeper Paulo Nascimento has kept them in countless games. The Ambush are a tight-knit group. Brazilian Nascimento loves the family atmosphere on the team and feels that can only benefit them as they drive towards a playoff spot.
I feel so good to be here, and we're keeping working hard. You know, our organization is growing as a team. I have other players, more experience, more confident. So I think that's our family. Like you have our hashtag, Rise as One. I think it's really important.
Okay, more highlights. The Ontario Fury head south of the border to take on Sonora, and the Soles hit first. Alejandro Leyva playing the ricochet perfectly, ball to head to the back of the net. He makes it 1-0 for Sonora. Ontario responding quickly though. Jesus Pacheco smokes it past Alejandro Gallardo, his first of the campaign. That ties it up 1-1. Now, Enrique Cañas has been absolutely shredding the MASL. This game was no different with his squad leading 4-3 early in the second quarter. Enrique smacks it top shelf, and Sonora had a 2-goal bulge. Second half, now Cañas will dance around the keeper here and make it 6-3 for the Soles, and then it's Leyva picking up his second tally of the day. Sonora would pull away in the end big time. They hold Frank Tailloux to a single goal and top Ontario 11-5. Okay, Monterey had a busy week 8 with 3 games. They were in Mesquite. The Outlaws draw first blood. Oscar Romero makes it 1-0 for the home team. Watch this, though. I believe it's Victor Quiros right there with the beautiful dummy move. Things that don't show up on the stat sheet but are so huge. Hector Vallejo, the finish. Nice play. Jorge Rios on the break here. He rips it past Esteban Vasquez. That makes it 2-1 for the Flash. Second quarter, Jamie Lovegrove going to work. Nice little tap in to tie it up once again. And then it's Jamie just a $1.05 later, giving Mesquite the 3-2 lead. And they were feeling anything was possible. Fourth quarter, though. Roberto Escalante gets what proves to be the game winner for Monterey. Beautiful shot as they get pushed hard by Mesquite, but hold on for the 10-8 victory. Okay, one more before the break. Dallas hosting Monterey. Brian Aguilar led the MASL in scoring after week 8. He has been torching keepers this year and gets things started for the Flash, making it 1-0 right there. And then it's Christian Quintana. Oops. Yeah, his reaction says it all. Happens to the best of us, Christian. Own goal. Just before the quarter ends, Jorge Rios gets his second. 3-0. The onslaught would continue. Edgar Flores, fantastico. One-time perfection. And then Monterey steals, and this is Rios getting the hat trick. 5-0 Flash. At that point, Dallas does get one back. No style points, but it all counts the same. Philip D'Souza. Monterey cruises. Jonathan Segura stopped by afterwards to talk about what went wrong.
We got to work out on some stuff that we need to fix. I mean, there's always room for improvement, and we got a lot of improvement to do to get up there and get those wins.
Welcome back to MASL Primetime. And the man joining me now is an absolute legend in American soccer. He's the host of the extremely popular World of Futsal podcast, a former MASL bench boss. In fact, the all-time winningest coach in the history of North American indoor soccer. Keith Tozer joins me. Keith, welcome to MASL Primetime.
Hey, Alex. Great to be on the show. I love the show. I watch it every week. You've done a fantastic job. And I can't wait to see more shows down the road.
Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. And it's great to have you on because you are a huge part of the history of the game as well. Going back to when the original major indoor soccer league was formed in 1978. I didn't realize this. You were the first ever player drafted into the league with the old Cincinnati Kings. Just give us some of your memories that really stand out to you about playing and then coaching arena soccer professionally.
Yeah, Walt Chesowitz, who actually was the head coach of the 1980 Olympic team, was asked by Earl Foreman and Ed Tepper, could you take care of the MISL college player draft? And so basically what he did is he took the pool of the Olympic players and he drafted us all the different teams. I was actually waiting to get a call from the Washington Diplomats of the NASL to go play outdoor. I got a call from Keith Von Aaron, who became an all-star in the MISL. And he said, Keith, you were just drafted #1 to the Cincinnati Kids of the Major Indoor Soccer League. And I said, who, what, where am I going? Next thing you know, I meet Pete Rose, who was our owner. And then in December 22nd, I played in the first game in Nassau Coliseum. It was a fantastic day in the history for indoor soccer, and I've been proud to be part of indoor soccer ever since.
And you've been involved now with the U.S. futsal team for decades, and you're currently the technical director for the United States Youth Futsal. Your podcast is about futsal, of course. So, many arena players are also tremendous futsal players. There's a lot of crossover there. It's a global game. Just talk to us about what drew you to futsal.
Yeah, Alex, actually, the coaching convention's coming up in Baltimore this coming week, and it's all about outdoor soccer, and there's really nothing about indoor soccer. So where does a coach learn how to teach indoor soccer? So I was fortunate to be the captain of the team, 86 U.S. national futsal team. It was really called five-a-side at that time. And my journey from futsal started there. When I took over the coaching job in 1996 with the help of John Kowalski, I learned so much. When I went on a trip, I would knock on the door of the coach of Brazil's hotel room and said, "Hey, can I take you to lunch? Why do you do this?" Done the Italian coach, the Portuguese coach, and then came back and kind of blended the methodology of futsal into indoor soccer. And then to teach it correctly, I needed to bring players from Brazil. So Marcio Leite, Chico, Luana Oliveira, and the list goes on and on. You blend that all together, and it really was a big reason why we won so many championships in Milwaukee.
And I mean, you were the coach of the Milwaukee Wave for years. You won multiple titles with the franchise. You stepped away. You guys parted amicably back in 2014. And of course, the Wave won the cup again last season. Question, did you get a bit of a lump in your throat seeing your old team triumph once again?
I was there at the game with some of my children, and I was extremely happy for Mike Zimmerman, for the entire Wave organization, for all the fans. I was extremely proud of Juliano Oliveira and Marcelo Fontana, who played for me, became the coach. I thought they did an awesome job. And some of the players that I did bring to the franchise, Ian Bennett, Luan, Marcio Leite, to name a few, played a big part in that series. So I could not have been more happier for everyone involved. And it's something, Alex, that, the franchise now has won a total of seven championships. And I think, there's a culture there, there's a system there, and everyone's done a wonderful job. I could have been more happier.
Yeah, just a great franchise, the Milwaukee Wave. And you know what? We got to talk about your podcast, The World of Futsal. Great show. You guys get so in depth about everything. You talk about a wide range of topics across the soccer spectrum. Just in case a viewer hasn't listened to it yet, just fill us in on when they can hear it and what they can expect from the podcast.
Yeah, you can go to theworldoffutsal.com. You can go to our Facebook page. You can go to iTunes. You can go to Stitcher. You can go to Spotify. If you've got an iPhone, you got the podcast app. Android, download that. I had no expectations whatsoever how many people are going to be listening to the show. I think I started with 10, and that was my family members and a couple neighbors. We're now approaching over 200,000 listeners around the world in 130 countries. Landon Donovan's been on, Anson Durant, Diego, who won the 2016 World Cup. It's a broad spectrum of people that are involved in the game. And Nick Pereira's been on, Joshua, the commissioner of the league's been on, Giuliano, Phil Savaggio. So we've kind of really blended this whole thing together. It's been fantastic. I love it. So tune in, World of Futsal.
You know what? You're so important to the history of arena soccer, indoor soccer in general. You're a legend, like I said, and thank you for joining me today.
Well,
really appreciate it, Keith.
Well, it's a long history of indoor. And by the way, there should be a big section at the Hall of Fame in Dallas about indoor soccer, because indoor soccer played a huge part of the success of both indoor and outdoor soccer in the United States. It's been an honor to be on the show. I love indoor soccer. Go MASL.
Agreed. Thanks a lot, Keith. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Alex. Great job.
Thank you. More MASL Primetime coming up in just a moment. Hey, welcome back to MASL Primetime. You know, if there was a team that really needed a shot in the arm heading into week 8 of play, it was the Tacoma Stars, boasting the reigning MASL MVP in Nick Pereira. The Stars stumbled out of the gate this season with just 3 wins in their first 9 games. Now, they needed to get things going back in the right direction last weekend, but it wasn't going to be easy as they were facing the much improved Cal Express. Game highlights in this segment are brought to you by Sports Resource Group, proud partners of the MASL, SRG, building walls that bring us together. Tacoma, Turlock, both teams had 3 wins entering the contest, and the Express hit first. Geraldo, shaking and bacon, crushes it past Danny Waltman. 1-zip Turlock. Second quarter, Raphael Cox, unmarked out front. He knots it up at 1 apiece, and then some sweet ball movement by the Stars here. Lamar Neagle, the finish. 2-1 for Tacoma, and they kept coming. Alex Kacheris gives Tacoma the 2-goal cushion. Second half of play, they would add to it with the Stars. Michael Ramos crushing the shot past Edgar Martinez and then saying hello to his fans. That makes it 4-1. Turlock not done yet, though. Adrian Gutierrez smashes a beauty, top shelf, to cut their deficit in half. Fourth quarter, though, Tacoma puts it away. Corey Keats knocks home the rebound to make it 6-3, and yeah, they'd hold on for the 7-4 victory, and they get that shot in the arm they were looking for. KC hosting the Orlando Seawolves last Friday. Kevin Ellis was a man on a mission in Week 8. He was huge for the Comets. With the score tied in the second quarter, Ellis knocking it in. Beautiful header. Second half, KC keeps on coming. Ray Lee to Robert Kelly. He makes it 5-3. Now down 6-3, Orlando shows signs of life. Daniel Jackson drawing them back to within 2 goals. But look at the little back heel by Ellis. Cheeky. 5 goals on the day for Kevin Ellis. He paces the Comets to a 14-6 drubbing of Orlando. Monterey wrapped up its busy week against Ontario. Frank Taiyu gets the Fury on the board first. 19 on the season now for Frank. Second in the league. Sadly for Ontario, that was their high point of the game. Eric Ponce rips it past Chris Toth. That knocks it up 1-1. Brian Aguilar with one of the best headers of the year right there. 2-1 Monterey after 15 minutes. With the score 3-1, Taiyu getting back in the act, crushing the free kick to pull Ontario closer. Monterey, just too much to handle, though. They remain the league's last unbeaten team, taking down the Fury by a 12-5 count. Okay, the Tropics have been awesome this year. They were looking to stay hot against Orlando. Down 1-0, 9 minutes in. Rafa Tobias, nice strike to tie it up. Soon after, Orlando getting caught ball watching, though, and Drew Ruggles flicks it in. 2-1 FLA. Second quarter, here comes Gordy Gerson crushing the offering past Fernando Cortez. And just 23 seconds later, Matt Clare feeds Guillermo dos Santos. Florida just continues to roll. They take down their in-state rivals 10-3. Okay, who made the naughty list in Week 8? Let's take a look. Stephen St. Louis of the Ambush gets a 1-game suspension for this tackle on Mario Alvarez, and it's cleats first. Ouch. Alvarez was down for a bit. 1 game for Stefan off that. Okay, the team of the week for Week 8, Hugo Puentes of Monterey, Leo Gibson, who seems to make the team every week, Jorge Rios, Kevin Ellis, Alex Kacheris, and Andrew Coughlin of Utica City. And our Sport Turf Primetime Player of the Week, Kevin Ellis of the Kansas City Comets, and you just saw why. What an incredible game he had against Orlando. 5 goals in Week 8 for him as Kevin paces KC to the big victory over the Seawolves. He is our Player of the Week and our Primetime Plays of the Week for Week 8. On number 5, Florida's Gordy Gerson. Boom. 1-time perfection against Orlando. Number 4, Milwaukee's Luan Oliveira dialing long distance against St. Louis. Number 3, Geraldo of Cal shakes and bakes and hammers it top shelf against Tacoma. Number 2, the beauty dummy here by Victor Quiros. Freezes Mesquite, Hector Vallejo, the finish. And number 1, It's Mr. Ellis himself, the cheeky little back heel against Orlando. Take another look off the feed from Leo Gibson, the finish by Ellis. 1 of 5 on the day by Kevin, and that one is our primetime play of the week. And that's going to wrap things up for today. But just a reminder, MASLsoccer.com is your home base for all things in the Major Arena Soccer League. And there's all kinds of other social media to keep you up to date as well. Thank you so much for watching MASL Primetime. We'll see you next week.